Now let's take a look at how your scan might go when you've lost both the attitude indicator and the heading indicator due to a vacuum system failure. Now to simulate the loss of each of these, I'll cover them each up. Now with a full panel, your scan centers around the attitude indicator. You might call it a hub and spoke scan because every time you look at the attitude indicator, after that you glance at something else and then back again to the attitude indicator. Now without the attitude indicator, you substitute the turn coordinator instead. Now the reason you center the scan around the turn coordinator is this keeps in control the one thing in an airplane that is most likely to get out of control, and that is your angle of bank. Now an airplane is relatively unstable in roll, but it's relatively stable in pitch. So if you keep the roll in control, you've made things a lot easier. So for straight and level under partial panel, you start with the turn coordinator, then glance to the altimeter, then back to the turn coordinator, then over to the compass to check your heading, and then back to the turn coordinator, and so on. Now, as you know, the VSI in smooth air can be an early indicator of a pitch excursion, so you'll want to throw in a glance at the VSI every now and then when you're flying partial panel. Now, let's assume that you want to fly a heading of, say, 270 degrees, and when you glance at the compass to check your heading, it reads 250 degrees. Well, you know you'll need to make a small turn back to the right to return to your heading of 270 degrees. To do that, you'll need to bank the airplane into a standard rate turn to the right. So move your gaze back to the turn coordinator and use it to put the little miniature airplane on the tick mark for standard rate turn to the right. And start counting or timing for 6 or 7 seconds. Now quickly check out the altimeter to make sure you're not losing altitude. Then go back to the turn coordinator to make sure that you're still in that bank that you want. Now, after you've timed for 6 or 7 seconds, you'll want to level the wings. So use the turn coordinator to level the wings, then move your gaze over to the altimeter to check to make sure your altitude's okay. And the odds are you might have gotten distracted and lost, say, 100 feet of altitude. So you'll want to pitch up to a climb of 200 or 300 feet a minute. You'll use your vertical speed indicator to do that. But remember, your VSI has a lag in it, so you might have to be a little bit patient. Now that you got the climb going, go over to turn coordinator, check that out. Then gaze at your altimeter to see that you're coming up on your altitude. And then pitch down a little bit using the VSI to go back to level flight attitude. Now you can see that flying partial panel is not a lot different than flying instruments with the full panel. You just have to keep your scan moving a little faster and be aware that your VSI has a lag. And bring your compass into the scan. And remember, there are times when your compass lies to you.